Mic ni dia tangkap. Tak boleh letak sini, dia tangkap.
Pegang.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Her Excellency Senator Penny Wong, Minister for Foreign Affairs Australia, saudara dan saudari yang dihormati sekalian, it is really a special day for me, and it is my pleasure to welcome today my Australian counterpart, Senator Penny Wong, and all of the members of the Australian delegation here at Wisma Putra. We have spoken before on the phone, and it is great to finally meet you in person, Penny. Yeah, especially in times like this, we really need to be more engaged with one another. During our meeting just now, I congratulated her on her appointment as the Foreign Minister of Australia. I also congratulate the stunning success of the Labour Party in the recent Australian federal elections. Today's meeting was very fruitful, even though we don't have much time to discuss, but Senator Wong and I exchanged views on various issues that ranges from bilateral to regional issues of mutual interest. As comprehensive strategic partners, we express our delight and satisfaction towards the positive growth witnessed throughout our multifaceted cooperation, especially in the post-COVID-19 pandemic era. We discuss in brief the progress of the activities under the CSP, covering its three main pillars, namely economic prosperity, society and technology, as well as defense cooperation and regional security. In the economic pillar, I highlighted Malaysia's current position to put a lot of focus on digital economy. While on society and technology, we emphasize the importance of people-to-people relations. For example, the number of Malaysian students, the biggest number of Malaysian students as a group in any particular country is in Australia. There are now about 12,000 Malaysian students studying there. On defense cooperation and regional security, besides the continuing of our defense cooperation, I also highlighted the importance of cybersecurity. Malaysia and Australia both have multicultural and multi-religious society, and this is also one area where we can further develop in terms of our people-to-people cooperation. On regional issues, I thank Australia for being a strong supporter of ASEAN. Australia was ASEAN's first ever dialogue partner in 1974 and has been actively contributing to ASEAN ever since. The elevation of ASEAN-Australia dialogue relations to comprehensive strategic partnership recently is indeed a landmark achievement. Malaysia is confident that all of the various collaborative efforts made under the partnership will contribute significantly towards supporting the region to rise from the challenges posed by the pandemic. Both of us exchanged insights on a wide range of regional issues, in particular on Myanmar. I took note on Australia's position on Myanmar, and we expressed that we are very thankful that Australia is already in some ways assisting, especially in the humanitarian side. Well, I suppose those were the things that we discussed. Some quite in detail, some probably not so much in detail, but we have promised ourselves to work even closer. between the two of us. Over to you.
Terima kasih, Foreign Minister. Can I say to you and to all here what a great honour it is to be received here and to meet with you as Australia's Foreign Minister. As people know, I was born in Kota Kinabalu and it is a very special day for me to come here representing the country I now am living in and representing the people of Australia in the country of my birth. It really is very special for me, and I thank you for receiving me, and I thank you, Foreign Minister. As I said, I know you've had a very busy schedule. It was very good of you to make such an effort to receive me. We have a new government in Australia, and me being here, I hope is a reminder of modern Australia. As the Minister said, like Malaysia, we are a multicultural nation, a nation where so many Australians were born overseas or have parents born overseas. And we have people from all corners of the globe, but we also have a great many from Malaysia and from Southeast Asia. And we understand that our future is interlinked with the future of Southeast Asia, the future of ASEAN. We share the same future because we share the same region, and that is how we will approach our relationship and how we will approach many of the challenges that we face. I thank the Foreign Minister for a very productive meeting. I echo his words about us working together closely. We have a comprehensive strategic partnership between our two nations, and we agreed today that we would work to give greater momentum to that partnership with a focus on practical cooperation, and the Minister has gone through some of the issues that we traversed, including digital technology, cyber security, and of course education, which is such an important aspect of our relationship. I have a particular personal interest in education and educational ties because my father in the 1960s was a Colombo Clan scholar to Adelaide, which is where he met my mother, and that's why I'm here. I reiterated to the Minister that the Australian Government remains committed to ASEAN centrality, and we see ASEAN as the centre of a stable, peaceful, prosperous region in which sovereignty is respected. So, Foreign Minister, I thank you for receiving me here today, and I look forward to many more discussions.
Okay, thank you. Ada soalan, any questions? Yes. Yeah. Please. Oh, okay.
Hi, good afternoon, and my name is Louis from Manama. Okay, I would like to ask Malaysia and Australia become comprehensive strategic partners last year. How do you see this relationship in the coming years? And at the regional level, will there be greater engagement between Australia and ASEAN? Thank you.
Well, the total trade in 2021 between the two countries in 2021 was USD 14 billion, and this is an increment of about 30% from what it was in 2020. But both of us say that the number is good, but surely we can look at ways and means to add to that number. So there will be specific discussions by the relevant agencies, especially on trade. But the Foreign Minister is also meeting with Datuk Sri Azmin to specifically discuss issues on trade. So the way forward is really more trade between the two countries. I'm very confident that this is something that we can work on And this is where, for example, I highlighted the point on cyber security. That could be one area where we can enhance cooperation. We put a lot of value on and appreciation on Australia's engagement with ASEAN, and they are very much near to ASEAN. We always welcome their participation in all of the three tiers of the ASEAN community works, the political, economy, and the socio-cultural tiers of the ASEAN framework.
If I could add just very briefly, I think post-COVID, obviously that's had an effect on the global economy, the regional economy and all our domestic economies. I think it would be of benefit to both nations for there to be greater momentum within the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Sorry, I'm trying to look over your shoulder to the person behind you. I think we discussed some of the ways in which that could occur. In terms of ASEAN, in addition to the strategic precept that Australia has, which is ASEAN centrality, I would again emphasise that we are privileged and honoured to be a comprehensive strategic partner of ASEAN. When I was in Jakarta recently with the Prime Minister Albanese, we met with the Secretary General, and I took the opportunity to meet with the permanent representatives as well to talk through with them the various ways in which we can give practical life to the CSP with ASEAN, and there's some very good projects which we are working on together, and I look forward to that being implemented over the weeks and months and years ahead, and an even stronger relationship between our country and ASEAN, which, as the Minister points out, we were the first dialogue partner, and we understand and believe in its importance.
The second question, there was a gentleman. Okay.
Question for Minister Wong. Chris Barrett of the Sydney Morning Herald.
Chris, how are you?
Good, thank you. Malaysia's expressed concerns about the AUKUS deal and Australia's plans to have nuclear-powered submarines in the region. Prime Minister Ismail said last month that if China, for example, wanted to help North Korea purchase nuclear-powered submarines, Malaysia wouldn't be in a position to object because AUKUS has set a precedent. Your government inherited the submarines deal but is committed to it, so how will you go about assuaging those concerns that it could instigate an arms race, and how do you convince countries like Malaysia that it's necessary and is not going to further antagonise China?
Well, I'd make a few points about it. The first, we have, and in opposition, we're committed to support this capability. Second, this is very important. We are not a nuclear power. There are nuclear powers in this region, but Australia is not one of them. What we are doing is replacing an existing capability with a new capability, and that is nuclear-powered submarines. So the propulsion system is powered by nuclear power, but we remain very clear that we do not seek, and nor would we ever seek to have any nuclear capability on our submarines. So that's the first point, because I think sometimes people hear the word nuclear, and I understand there's a response to that. We are talking about nuclear propulsion, not nuclear weapons. We know our region is being reshaped economically and strategically. Australia, Malaysia, the countries of ASEAN are seeking to navigate this period of change. Australia will always operate on the basis that we have this objective, and a region that is peaceful, a region that is stable, a region that is prosperous, a region in which sovereignty is respected, and importantly, a region where rules enable some predictability to state behaviour and to the way in which disputes would be dealt with. So from Australia's perspective, that is what we are focused on, and the work we do and the approach we take to those sorts of strategic issues will always be guided by that objective. I make also this point, I've in my previous answer reaffirmed again the principle of ASEAN centrality, and that remains. That remains.
Next question, please.
Hi, Mr. Wong. I'm from Amri from Tusa, Malaysia. On AUKUS, the announcement last year about on AUKUS have raised major security concern among countries in the Southeast Asia. What's your government stand on this issue now?
Well, I think I went to most of that in my previous answer, if I may, but I would say this. I appreciated the opportunity to explain how we see AUKUS to the Foreign Minister and to other counterparts in the visits I have made prior to this visit, which are obviously to Vietnam and to Jakarta. So we appreciated the opportunity to go through some of the things I've just outlined. It is important that we listen to concerns, that we respond to them respectfully. That's how the new government will seek to deal with some of the issues which have been raised, and we hope that over time people's concerns will be able to be allayed.
Okay. Next question.
Hello. Hi, Emma Connors from the Financial Review. My question too, I'm afraid, is about AUKUS and the Quad really, but Dr. Sri, I'm just wondering, we heard a lot about Malaysia's concerns when the agreement was first announced, but that is now some time ago. And we've also heard some concern about Quad in ASEAN. There's been some suggestions that the US could be looking to create an Asian type of NATO, and that has concerned some Asian states. But I'm just wondering if your concerns have changed since the Russian invasion of the Ukraine, which has shown us all what happens when the rules-based order is not observed. Thank you.
Well, Malaysia highly values the regional peace and security of the ASEAN region, and we want to maintain the South China Sea in particular and the region as a whole as a region of peace, of commerce, of prosperity. And we had a very candid discussion on AUKUS just now, and I thank the Foreign Minister for explaining the current government's position, and Malaysia's position remained the same, and this I have mentioned to the Foreign Minister. Soalan lain, any other questions? All right, that's it? Okay.
Thank you.
No question. On football?
Yeah, I mean, if we're allowed to ask another question, I'll gladly ask one. The Malaysian government has been, as has the Indonesian government, been speaking about concerns over the looming food crisis as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And I wonder if you spoke with Senator Wong about what Australia might do to help alleviate the concerns of its Southeast Asian neighbours. Well,
the Minister was very kind in her elaboration with me, mentioning something to that effect. Perhaps if Foreign Minister want to say something about it, which of course
I think
very much.
Thank you, Foreign Minister. Look, I think the consequences of what is occurring in Ukraine are obviously strategic, but they are also economic, as you've alluded to. And one of the points we discussed in the meeting was that Australia continues to be a reliable supplier, for example, of wheat and meat, at a time where global supply chains have been constrained. And obviously, as a comprehensive strategic partner, we will work with Malaysia, if required, on any issues they have in terms of their supply constraints arising out of the conflict in Ukraine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, YB Dato' Sri. Thank you, Minister Wong. That marks the end of our joint press conference session. We kindly request for the...
Kak tunggu sikit Kak. Sorry Kak.
Thank you. We kindly request for the members of the media to remain seated to allow the departure of the foreign ministers from the hall. Thank you.